Hello, this is Nerd Crew bringing you the new updates in 1.5. Today I'll be covering hoppers, quartz blocks, and some of the new redstone stuff. So the first thing I want to show you is quartz blocks, because they are very cool. They can be found in the nether as this block right here. It's right here. This nether quartz ore, and you mine it, and then it will give you... I'm not entirely sure where it's located right now, but it will give you these things called nether quartz, and you can arrange them in a 4x4 pattern, either on a crafting table or in your inventory, to make a nether block of quartz. So I'm just gonna give myself a little block of quartz right here, and let's give me, I don't know, 63. Okay, so here we go. You can make a pillar by taking this and putting it like so. You get the same amount, just you might have to be rounded off, which in some cases could lead to one less pillar than you really need. Anyways, and then the other thing, chiseled, I believe is what it's called, chiseled quartz block, which apparently I don't know how to make. It's right here though. Chiseled quartz block looks like this, and it's very cool for like corners and floors, and as you can see my little walkway right here, I have like nether pillar quartz right here just covering this up. And I'm sure you're all wondering, well, probably not, but how I get it to be rotated. Well, the cool thing about this nether block is that it can be rotated just like a log, even though it's not made out of wood, which really has nothing to do with it. But anyways, so that's that. And it could be used in a cool tree design that I just thought of, where you take glowstone. Yeah, I think this will look cool if I do this, and yeah, it could be cool. It could be like a white tree thing. I don't know. But, so, that's my tree. Anyways, so basically very cool stuff. You can use it in many artistic designs, and even for some very, I don't know, detailed stuff in pixel art. Okay, so moving on, we have this really useful block called the hopper. Now this thing, if you drop something into it, even from up here, it will take it in and put it in the block that it's assigned to. Now, if you shift click and then put it on a block like, let's say, another hopper, and then put an item in it, it will move that item to the next hopper. So this is very useful. You could even use, I thought of this, a huge hopper pipeline to deliver water places. Or maybe in this way, which I'm about to show you. You take a furnace, and basically this is just an automatic furnace. Yeah, so let's just put it up here, put this furnace here, and we put this right here. See this? See this? Since I shift clicked on the furnace, it will now put whatever I put in here in. Oh, it has to be on top. It has to be on top apparently, but whatever I put in here will then go into this directly into this furnace, which is very useful when you think about it. So you can use this, which is basically a design I made. Well, I didn't make it. But you can take this and you can use it for stuff like what I'm about to show you, an automatic furnace. Now let's just put some coal here. And because this hopper is pointing down, I believe it'll be able to go into this chest right here when it's done smelting. So I believe you can put nether quartz ore in the furnace. Yes, you have to. Anyways, and as you can see, it went from this hopper into this furnace. And once it's done, it'll be extracted by this hopper and put into this chest. Well, oh, it's done. So that's basically the rundown on hoppers. Now we gotta move into the new system of dispensers and droppers. The dropper is basically the old dispenser where if you put an item in it, it just drops it out. The dispenser is now, if you've ever used it, the red power deployer. So if I was to put a bucket of water in the dispenser now, it actually gives it out. I'm not sure if that existed before this, but if it did, excuse me for using it, but basically they deploy stuff. Like if we were to put arrows in here, let's get some arrows, which existed before, but it would fire them. And it also works with fire charges now, which is very cool. And now you can also point them up, which is very useful by my standards, because I've been trying to make traps and stuff for ages, and I've had to make them on dispensers on the side, but coming from above is much more useful. So if we grab some arrows here, put them right there, then we put them right here, and we set this up to a, what I like to call a pulsar, because that's what it's called. But this is a pulsar, which is very useful in redstone for creating contraptions that, oh, it's firing. So basically it's firing tons of arrows in the air, just billions, and then they come straight back down. I don't know why I find this so amusing, but so that's how this works, and it creates a little bit of lag sometimes if you mass create it. So if you're on a server, you might want to find a way to moderate the use of pulsars. So moving on, we now have the dropper, which is a new item so that people can drop items instead of deploying them. So if I was to put this here, it actually gives me the item entity instead of just firing an arrow. So very useful. And moving on, we have the light sensor, and you know, well, the daylight sensor, and you know what that means. It means we can have lights that only turn on at night, which is very, very useful for us redstoneers. Is that how you pronounce it? Redstoneers? I have no idea. Alright, so if I was to surround this by, I don't know, block of iron, we don't need this anymore. I'll use, block of quartz, because quartz is cool, and it's all 1.5e. But so right now, this is on because it's, oh, well, it's on because it's on, yeah. Anyways, awkward silence. This can be turned on with redstone current, or the use of a redstone repeater, which I prefer for some reason. But then, because it's on during the day, this would just make lights that are on during the day. So we want to invert this charge. And then if we surround this by redstone lamps, you can see when I set this to night, this is no longer giving a redstone charge, or it won't be when it's actually night. Waiting for night here. So this is no longer emitting a redstone charge, which causes the redstone lamp in here to turn on, and it lets us make lights that only go on at night. So if we set the time to day, this is now on, and the lights are off. Seeing as in Minecraft you have an unlimited source of electricity, this isn't that useful for like power saving opportunities. But anyways, moving on once more, we now have the comparator, which I'm not entirely sure how to use that well yet, which is kind of sad. I really need to learn. Anyways, so the comparator allows you to get signals from new things. Like if you put a chest down, it will give you a signal that's equal to the number of things inside it, I believe. So if I put this redstone block inside this, it will then be giving out a signal. So if I put this here, this little comparator, see now it's giving out a signal, and believe it or not, it's actually giving out a signal of 1, as you can see here. So if I was to put another thing in here, which I believe works, no, it doesn't. Anyway, so it's giving out a signal of 1, which is very useful for adventure map makers, and the etc. Now the next thing, well, I'm not done with comparator, I'll go back over it later. But the next thing I'm going to start on is a trapped chest, which is basically a chest that outputs a redstone charge when you turn it on. So, for example, and it can go through walls as of the release, the official release. So, as this is on, if I put a receiver here, and then put that there, that light turns on when I'm opening it. Now, this can be used in various traps, such as the classic lava overhead. But anyways, on to the Tomb Raider scene of this thing right here. As you can see, there's a slight difference around the latch. It seems like almost a rusty texture over here, whereas over here, it's just a slight rusted texture. Sorry about that, Bandicam being weird again. Anyways, so if we extend this here, you'll notice that that goes on, which is very useful. For us Tomb Raiders, however, you can notice a slight difference, which definitely makes it easy to distinguish them if you've played Minecraft for as long as you've played it as me. And now, basically, I'm going to show you how to use the comparator on a jukebox for jukebox radio identification. Let's keep going here. Where's jukebox? Oh, it's funny. Still haven't got used to the new tabs thing. I can't find anything. So if we put a comparator next to a jukebox, it'll give a redstone output. Now this design is made by one of my friends. It's actually quite useful because it makes it so that this redstone will only work if you put in a Music Disc 13, which makes it very useful for most stuff. Okay, let's get started here. So first we're going to put this here, and let's get rid of that first. We won't be needing that anytime soon. Let's put a dirt here, and let's just get our redstone torch. And I believe I actually did this wrong. You'll have to ask him, because I know it'd be obvious, but I'm not that good at redstone sometimes. Just kind of tired right now. If I wasn't tired, I'd be as awesome as I always am. Yeah, awesome. Not. Anyways, let's get started here. So if you notice, once I put this Music Disc 13 into the jukebox, it will turn this off, but it also will not turn this on, which is very useful when you think about it, because then, with this off, we can invert this with a inverter basic redstone here, and then we can bring it over here, and pardon the background noise, my family's watching Doctor Who. Anyways, then we can make this, but hopefully, just hopefully, this will work. I don't remember the schematics entirely well, so if we invert this charge, then we take this and we set it away. I believe this should work. Now we put this here, and we set this here. And now, once we put a 13 music disc in, it should... Yes, it got through. Funny how hard that was for a sec. Now, this can be set to any output, such as a redstone lamp, for example, or anything else really, because it works. But so now, let's just see what happens when we put in a disc other than 13, like weight, for example. Oh, it didn't work. Well, what happened? Oh yeah, you seem to have forgotten the fact that this outputs a charge, that each disc outputs a different charge. So for 11, of course, it doesn't work, and nothing will work other than 13. You can use this for, also, on a mass scale, for radio jukebox identification, which I don't see how that's very useful. However, it's pretty cool. So that's pretty much all for this update. If I forgot anything, don't get mad at me, because I'm very forgetful today. And I guess, peace. See you guys.